Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me. We are at the second last show of the season, second last show of the month, second last show of the year, and we're ending it off with a bang. So thank you for joining us. I am Natan Verhofsky, your host with the most. This is an incredible. Hold on, let me adjust some screenage for you. There we go. This is the Frequency of Abundance group. We are here. We are celebrating the last little tidbits of excitement for the new year coming up. Now, in the daily podcast, and we're going Monday to Friday, 10 a.m., and on the weekends, I'll let you sleep in a little bit, which is why we're starting today at 1, making it, Jamaican time and relaxing. So in that context, where I wanted to come from, today is still an incredibly powerful day. This is Successful Saturday. And today, we're turning challenges into triumphs. It's the last live one of the season. This is season 1 marked off for a Frequency of Abundance group. If you want to join us, let me put that in the chat. Hold on. I'm going to pop into chat. Boop, there we go. So now, take a look. That's contact information if you want to reach out to me. That is contact information if you want to go to our free group. You go to LinkedIn, literally type the Frequency of Abundance, click group, and you're there. And you've got access to these talks, these podcasts. We have a small paid group. It's tens of dollars a month. It's nothing. And in that way, you get to interact with others. You get to go to group coachings. You get to go to networkings. There's so much fun in the sun. And beyond talks, we have trainings. So if you want to speak, if you want to be on stage, if you want your shine and your spotlight brightened up, reach out to me. You see my contact information there. Now, if we're looking at where we're coming from, I wanted you to know, if you didn't know who I am, I've been an elite energy coach for about 30 years. I started with Olympians, Cirque du Soleil acrobats, national sports teams, and I've had about 15,000 people come through my hands, wrote a couple best-selling books just on energy management and how to stay in the zone, keeping it in that peak performance, in the state of flow, long enough to get 2 days worth of work done in one. And so in that context, I invite you today. We're going to have such a successful Saturday. It's going to be so fun. We're going to do the most powerful things right at the end. We weren't saving them. We weren't giving them away at the beginning. This is going to get awesome sauce. So, you know where to reach out to the group. You know where to reach out to me. You know where to go through. And 'tis the season. I put Christmas Kitty away for probably about 99% of every day of the year. And I bring her out for just about 3 or 4 days just to make sure that she breathes and is happy and gets a chance to celebrate. And so whatever your denomination is, I'm sure you'll appreciate that Christmas Kitty's adorable, period. And she can be very easily transformed to any other type of kitty if that makes you feel better. But this is really about acceptance, understanding, knowing that there's a universality. And that's part of where we're coming from today. So, pop into the chat, share some love, share some hey, thumbs up, hearts, questions. If you want to be on one of our shows, if you want to be spotlighted, if you wanted to make sure you see where that's coming from. As I was saying, I started from this peak performance group and 15,000 people coming through my hands, but then COVID, and I wanted to shift, and I didn't want to make cat videos like everybody else, and I already was a coach in real life for 30 years. How the heck is this different online? It was horribly different. I couldn't get the technology to work. I felt stupid. I couldn't get the marketing to work. I felt slow, like I'm doing last week's marketing instead of this week's, and that's why it didn't work. And that's why we created a not-for-profit private community where we really were able to help the coaches, the healers, the therapists, the subject matter specialists blow a dog whistle to their target audience. If they were hunting whales like C-suite executives, leaders, that's what we wanted to help them get a hold of. So we put on one-of-a-kind events, leadership roundtable series, financial fireside chats, tequila and tech talks, health, wealth, prosperity forums, so many different cool things depending on who your target audience is. Reach out to me, grab a one-on-one. Let us see if there's something that we can do to bring that spotlight on you, on your target audience. If you're an agency owner, oh my goodness, the events that we put on that I co-host so you don't introduce yourself I do. You don't introduce your offer? I do. It makes it so different for the C-suite whales and executives and leaders. When they get there, that's why we get the video testimonials that they love it. White label us. Co-brand us in your offerings with your clients, and let's get more light on more people that deserve it. They're trying to do some good in the world. They're trying to help and heal and shed some love and some light. So knowing that that's the context, give us some love in the comments. Reach out if you have a comment, by all means, and know that we'd love to have you as a guest speaker. We'd love to have you on stage with us live, talking about what inspires you and who you serve and how you serve them. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty fun of Successful Saturday. Let's look at turning challenges into triumphs. Let's start with the importance of really looking at challenges as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. So you know that, this is an obstacle, but it's a stepping stone. I go over it. I get stronger because of that. That's very different than a roadblock where I have to go above, around, or underneath. Not the same. I want you to look at mindset as key. First thought. And we'll go to Napoleon Hill. Not a lot of quotes today, I promise, but a few I wanted to share because it makes sense. Every challenge contains the seed of an equal or greater opportunity. So if every challenge contains the seed of an equal or greater opportunity, kind of starting to like these seeds and these challenges. Let's refrain. Let's take that obstacle label that we gave it and reframe it as an opportunity. It's an obstacle to what I want right now, but it's an opportunity to learn and to grow. And as a practical tip, if we practice gratitude, even for the difficulties, and that's the hard part, you're like, yay, thank you for the pain in my neck that I have so I can't turn to the left because I slept funny last night. Woohoo, I'm practicing gratitude for the difficulty. It's going to start to shift your focus towards solutions. I should get a heat pack, an ice pack, stretch, don't stretch, like stuff to do, I'm not here to give you advice on that stuff. But as a practical tip, if you practice gratitude, even for the difficulties, it's going to shift your focus towards solutions. If we reframe obstacles as opportunities to learn and grow, then every challenge does contain the seed of an equal or greater opportunity. Now, it's a Saturday, it's a blessing, it's a couple days before the holidays, no matter which one you celebrate, either a couple days before, during, or after. Love it. Enjoy. It's a time to be with family, with friends. It's incredible. So pipe in some love, share in the comments, share in the chat. If you're feeling the vibe, if you're loving the flow, know that tomorrow is the last day of the season, and in it, we are going to be doing a recap of season 1. So all the cool episodes we've done up to now, all the talks, little highlights here and there. It's going to be incredible. For today, if we embrace failure as feedback, I think that's going to be a big deal. I think if we look at success stories, they kind of often include failures. I wonder if you're noticing that common theme. So if you share anything, remember that resilience. Like Thomas Edison, I think he had something like 10,000 failures trying to find what is the correct filament for the light bulb. But he viewed them as, well, that's 9,999 other examples that don't work. Still looking for the one that does. And it gives you that very, very different mentality of, hey, you know what? If he's failing 10,000 times, I want those attempts to be looked at as learning the ways not to make a light bulb until you find the ways to make a light bulb. Pretend you wanted to make bread and you have no clue how to make bread. if you've watched YouTube, followed a recipe, okay. But let's say you're like, no, I'm old school. I'm just going to figure this damn thing out like cavemen and my ancestors did before. Okay. So you're like, I'm pretty sure I know. There's flour, there's water. I'm like, yep. I'm not sure of anything else, so that's where I'm going to start. I'm like, okay. I'm going to knead some flour into some water. Looks like dough. Kinda. Alright. And I'm going to heat it up. You know, what temperature, how long? No, I'll figure that out. I'm like, you sure will. And whether you bake too low or bake too high, or even if you magically baked at the right time and temperature for that weird composition and thing that you just made, the learning is huge. It's so huge that you're going to learn so much more from the 10,000 times that you failed making bread. And then when you finally made bread and you pass it around and people are like, oh my God, listen, Edison, I really don't want to try your bread anymore. It's awful. It's been awful for the last 9,000 times. And I'm not convinced it's going to change now. I'm really not. And then they try it and they go, oh my goodness, that's incredible. Wow. Best bread I've ever had in my life. And you're like, yes. Sometimes it comes on your 6th try, your 1st try, your 17th try, your 10,000th try. But know that everything that hasn't worked up to now is just yet another way not to have that work. You're still looking for the one that does. So look at failure as feedback, and that's going to guide your improvement. Let's talk about building resilience through action. So action creates momentum. I like that. What does momentum create? Well, if you're doing it right, it builds confidence. Action creates momentum, which builds confidence. I like that. I like that. I think that feels different. You know, we talked about fake it till you make it. I find that ingenuine. I find that insincere. I don't resonate with that. Instead, I much more prefer act as if. You know, you want to be a $1 million or $1 billion company? Act as if. It's different than fake it till you make it. Hey, I'm a $1 million company. No, you're not. I'm faking it though. Look, I'm doing a good job. It's awful. It's imposter. It's not imposter syndrome. That's when you are the real deal, but don't believe you are. Whole different set of This is when you're not the real deal. Like, I'll give you an example of imposter syndrome. You're wearing the doctor gown. You got the stethoscope. You got the nameplate. You're in the hospital. If you went to medical school and that nameplate has your name on it, I don't care what you feel inside. This is not imposter syndrome. You are a doctor. It's legit. You're supposed to be here. If all of that with the coat and the stethoscope and the name tag is accurate, but you look at the name tag and that's not your name, that's not imposter syndrome either. That's fraud. You stole somebody's badge and quit it, get out of the hospital. You're pretending to be a doctor. There's really no such thing as imposter syndrome if you genuinely look at it. You either are legitimately meant to be and you need to get over yourself and get over it, or you're not. At which point, again, you need to get over yourself or get over it because it just is or it isn't. This stuff's binary. You know, did you go to doctorate school and get a doctorate certificate that says PhD? Yes, then you're a doctor. Stop it. You didn't. Then you're not. For the love of Murphy, please don't call yourself, Dr. Tim Allen. I'm like, why not? Well, because, I've got a PhD in pain. Don't do that. Don't do that to you. Don't do that to the rest of the universe that actually went and spent the time and energy to become a legitimate doctorate candidate or postdoctorate or somebody that it went to the highest level of studies and learning. Don't negate it by saying, yeah, but it's catchy to call yourself a doctor. I'm like, yeah, it's catchy now. For the rest of the other people who did it, it was work for centuries. You don't get to ride on their coattails unless you're prepared to do the work and stand on their shoulders. So, We've talked about mindset is key. Looking at challenges containing seeds to greater or even more opportunity. Looking at obstacles, refraining them, opportunities to grow and learn. Practicing gratitude even for difficulties, because it's going to shift your focus towards solutions. We're going to embrace failure as a feedback. We're going to look at these success stories. You have, I have, we all have, that are often including failures. We talked about Edison. We looked at failure as a feedback that's going to guide improvement. And now we're building resilience through action. Resilience through action. Action creates momentum. It's going to build confidence. We're going to look at actionable steps that you can take when you're faced with a challenge. When, you're looking for advice from mentors. When you're seeking support and you want to surround yourself with support. That's the importance of community during those tough times. So critical. If you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. You need a group. That's an African proverb. It's amazing. Encourage yourself. I invite you to lean on support systems all around you and seek out those new connections when you need them. Celebrate some of those small wins. Really give a deep down version of yourself that's going to break challenges into manageable bite-sized pieces. How do you eat an elephant? Bite by bite, piece by piece, bit by bit. Okay. And ensure that you celebrate the progress. It's going to give you incredible energy and encouragement to go forward and continue. Now, give yourself the notion that, yes, you know that there's a benefit, especially a psychological benefit, if you're recognizing your achievements. But you don't want to puff up your ego and beat your chest, but highlight that, right? Like, no matter how small, these are really big deals. You didn't have them before. Not everyone gets them. You have them now. Celebrate those small wins. So let's look at some call to actions. Let's reach in. Let's pop back out. Again, I invite you. If you want to pop in the chat, give a thumbs up, give a love, give a like. Even if not for me, do it for Christmas Kitty. Come on now. This is so cute. All right. And know that you are loved, you are heard. You're part of the let me try that in English. You are part of a supported community. So go to LinkedIn. Reach out to us through the Frequency of Abundance group. Know that we just finished up season 1. We're going into season 2, loud and strong and proud in January 2025. Exciting times. Incredible times. When you look back at this in 10 years, you'll be like, I remember back then. For now, it's like, woohoo! I look forward to now and the future. So, join us here. Know that tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern, which is the time that we're going to be going into on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday, 1 o'clock, Monday to Friday, 5 p.m., 10 a.m. Eastern. Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Weekends, 1 p.m. Eastern. Sleep in a bit. And come and join us if you want to be broadcast, if you want to be focused, if you want to be spotlighted, if you want a shined light on you and your talk, reach out to me. If you want to make sure that you're in the Frequency of Abundance group, go to go into the chat, click the dang button. There's a link right there. Go to LinkedIn, The Frequency of Abundance, click group, you're in. We've had hundreds join in our first season. It's been incredible. Join us in the paid community. It's tens of dollars a month, but what you'll get is true community. We believe the tide raises all boats. We're there for networking, for groups. Oh my goodness, we have coaching, workshops. It's excellent. So much fun. Reach out to me, see if it's something that matches really what you're trying to do and where you're coming from. We'd love that. So, that's where we're coming from. That's where we're going into. Know that if you need a spotlight, shine some events on you, reach out to us. We're going to hunt those whales for you. It's going to be exciting. And let's wrap up today. let's take a look at one of your calls to action as inviting you to reflect. What challenges are you facing right now that have the potential to become your greatest triumph? You know, you look at that Will Smith movie with Happiness, and that was based on a true story. And that has got to be some crazy challenges and potentials that guy went through. And yet, it's become his greatest triumph. And for you too, right now, what challenges are you facing that have the potential to be your greatest triumph? I'm going to encourage you to share your story. Reach out to me personally. If you find it personal, you'll see me in the chat. Reach out if you're confident, proud, and strong. Say it loud. Say it proud. Put it in the chat. Reach out to us. Next year, we're going to have even more exposure, even more opportunities. So share your stories of overcoming adversity. Do it with us. Do it in your community. Do it in our community. Have some fun. Do it in both. Let's let both of our communities play in the same sandbox. Let's have some fun. Now, in closing, we'll be all formal. I didn't abuse it, so I'm going to jump back into it. I know how much we love it, but I'm going to end with a motivational quote. So, here we'll go to a French philosopher, Molière. If you're not familiar, Google. The greater the obstacle, the more glory in overcoming it. And I like that, because it rings true. And I don't know any fewer words that can say it as well. The greater the obstacle, the more glory in overcoming it. Molière. And I'm going to remind you that triumph isn't about achieving this magical milestone the same way that triumph isn't about avoiding challenges. It's about meeting them head on and going through them and diving deeper on those points that give you that love, that give you that light, that encourage you to go into that. So, as your host with the most, Natan, over here on the Frequency of Abundance group, as founder of Allura Creative Agency, as an elite energy coach, if there's anything I can do, personally or professionally, to help you, anyone I can introduce you to, any way that we can get you on a show or shine a spotlight on you, we would absolutely love to say hello in the new year. Reach out to me, say hi, and know that for next year, other than tomorrow on Sunday, we're going to be recapping season 1. I'm going through some cool stuff we went through, really highlighting tidbits. It's going to be epic. So, that's what's up. That's where we're coming from. Hang in, pop in, show some love, give us some approval, and book a one-on-one with me. Have a conversation. You have no idea how much fun we're going to have. I'll see you tomorrow. We're going to do a recap. And then for next week, from 22nd to the 1st, oh my goodness. You guys get double time. Season 1, twice a day. Twice a day you can binge watch. Morning and evening. Afternoon, do some work. Have some fun. Be with your family. It's the holidays. Come on now. But the morning and the evening, you can binge watch past episodes. With me, with others, it's going to be epic. Enjoy your last week of the year. Enjoy the holidays. Enjoy joining our private community over on LinkedIn, The Frequency of Abundance. Under groups. Have some fun. Click a one-on-one with me. I'll see you tomorrow for a recap. And my goodness, have some fun. Oh, pleasure to be with you.